2030, as an American, if you don't have perfectly white pearly chompers, you're gonna get chased over the border by the Looksmax or Goon Squad as they shout from their Tesla Cybertrucks. Take that gap tooth to Guadalajara, or worse, Toronto.
Man's never been in Marquee when it's shut down, eh? Trust me, daddy.
It is our duty to flex on the English. And at this point, all we have is our teeth. We don't even have the fattest people on average anymore. We're getting lapped by freaking Samoans, which is in part, the US's fault. But still, what do we even have as a nation now? The most prisoners? The most botched BBL survivors? The most cornrowed Yakubians? Dental issues can be debilitating and have plagued humanity for a long time. So having a healthy and durable set of chompers has always been advantageous. That's why on the first date, you have to pry open hinge victim number 37's mouth to inspect their molars like they're a horse. But let's be real, the real driving factor here isn't just oral health, it's aesthetics, baby. Especially as a wealth signifier. I mean, there's overlap with teeth looking good and also being healthy, obviously. But your teeth don't need to look like they were extracted from a shady Miami realtor to be healthy. Just look at the quintessential tradition of celebrities, especially the ones who grew up poor, getting a little bit of guac and then immediately getting their teeth done. These people are driving through their old neighborhoods, flashing those teeth and cackling. A pretty smile has become an aesthetic signifier of upward mobility and, dare I say, the American dream. But you know what's even more attractive than a nice smile? Financial responsibility. My goal this year was to budget better and not be so financially wasteful, but I would struggle with this because I was not keeping track of my spending. I had unrealistic expectations for budgeting, and let's be real, I wasn't holding myself accountable when it came to my spending habits. That's why I'm excited to announce this video sponsor, Rocket Money. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps you save time managing your finances by allowing you to cancel subscriptions, track spending, and create custom budgets all in one place. Thankfully, when it came to monthly subscriptions, I knew what I was paying for. However, I didn't realize how much I was spending on them annually until I saw the figure calculated in front of me. And I thought, that could have paid for like a whole month's worth of groceries and gas for me. Thankfully, I don't spend that much on groceries. I tend to just nibble on things like a little pack rat. But that was still like a month's worth of two expenses. With Rocket Money, I was easily able to delete my unnecessary subscriptions. Rocket Money also allowed me to set more realistic budgets and send me reminders that like, hey, you're getting close to your monthly limit. And then I'd go, okay, it's time to reel it back in with the unnecessary expenses. So go to rocketmoney.com/crouton to start your free premium trial. You can also click on the link in my description. Okay, back to the video. Cosmetic dentistry is massive in the US and is projected to become even more profitable across the globe in the coming years. Braces used to be the standard means by which to beat your teeth into submission, initially used to correct crowding and misalignment. Now, 80% of teens in the US will have braces. It's practically an American rite of passage at this point, like getting a DUI on New Year's. Braces can only do so much. Plus, they take a while and patience is a rare virtue. Also, aesthetically, a lot of adults that want to correct their teeth probably don't want to end up looking like, a poorly disguised undercover cop. There is Invisalign, if you just need a little bit of correction. But, who are you, Billie Eilish? I actually really do like the idea of Invisalign, because when you're thirsty, you can drink the pooled saliva out of the retainer. Lingual braces are a thing now, so we really do live in the future. But even after employing all of these techniques, you're still gonna have your original teeth. And what if your yellowing Tic Tacs don't look perfect? What if you need to flash your teeth at someone in a social setting, like a chimp showing aggression? This is where veneers come in. Veneers are thin, custom-made shells, typically crafted from porcelain or composite resin, that are permanently bonded to the front surface of teeth to improve their appearance. With about 0.5 to 0.7, up to about 1 millimeter of enamel shaved off the tooth to accommodate the veneer. This enamel will never grow back, so these are permanent alterations. If you have ever seen people online posting before and afters where their teeth have been shaved down to little nubs, the Hunter Biden special, they most likely got crowns, which are caps that cover the entire tooth. This procedure is quite extreme, but that's because it's designed for severely damaged and decayed teeth. A lot of these individuals with clearly healthy teeth should have never gotten crowns.
If you look at his teeth, these are actually crown preps. They shave all the way around the tooth, getting rid of like 50% of your tooth to put a cap over the whole thing. People go over to different countries to get this done because it's cheaper and they think they're getting a good result, but really they're just ruining their teeth forever. Not only are his teeth teeth damage, he's going to have much more sensitivity and pain throughout the years. He's going to have to get his crowns redone every 10 years. That is if they don't get decayed and fall out. And more than likely, by the time he's older, he's going to have to go into full dentures.
There are three types of veneers: porcelain, resin composite, and no prep. No prep is just a thinner and less invasive version of a porcelain or resin composite veneer. Porcelain is the bougiest, most expensive, most natural looking. It's made from feldspar. It lasts 10 to 12 years. Some can last as long as 20. They cost about $900 to $2,500 per tooth. At the post $2,000 mark, they better be melting down. Ancient Chinese porcelain artifacts for those veneers. And I know it's a different kind of porcelain. Okay, shut up. Composite ones cost about $250 to $1,500 per tooth. You can get them cheaper in places like Turkey though, where the composite veneers are about $100 to $300. Porcelain will run you about $150 to $450. They also have an option of emax or zirconium veneers that are even more expensive. I feel like they're just making stuff up at this point. If you have zirconium teeth, your smile might kill an albino. At these Turkish clinics, you can get a full set of like 20 teeth for $2,000 to $8,000, though it can get higher compared to $10,000 to $30,000 in the US. Some of these clinics offer comprehensive packages, which, I mean, obviously are more expensive, but they'll include flights, a hotel stay, they'll convert you to Islam when you sleep. Alhamdulillah. Now, obviously, this is an expensive procedure. These veneers are custom made for your little mouth. It's very time-consuming and tedious labor, and looking at some of this footage, you can't lie, it's genuine artistry. Veneers can be used to fix teeth that have been chipped or have severe enough enamel loss where they need an additional level of protection, but the current rise in their popularity is for more cosmetic reasons. Some of these patients' teeth are so discolored or damaged that I don't know how you would naturally remedy this. But with a lot of these before pictures, it's, come on. At a certain point, it's like, come on. Did you need a new set of teeth? Like, all you really needed was like a bit of whitening. This is offensive. This is appropriating snaggletooth culture. Your teeth don't have to be perfectly even. This is ridiculous. Hollywood has definitely played a role in the normalization of veneers, and especially the public's awareness of them, which is not surprising because they are an entertainment industry invention. Charles Pincus, who sounds like an old-timey patent stealer, was a film shoot consultant in 1928, around the times that films were transitioning from being silent into talkies, which meant greater emphasis on the actors' mouths. So Pincus MacGyvered a pair of acrylic veneers that could be bonded to your teeth. These were not permanent, but they did last longer than a typical dental adhesive. So they were bougie, but they were still kind of bootleg, like a shiv covered in Swarovskis. Semi-permanent bonding veneers didn't come until the 1950s, but it wasn't until 1983 when John Calamia invented the contemporary veneer. In the 1990s, Dr. Bill Dickerson opened the Las Vegas Institute for Advanced Dental Studies, which helped usher in a new era of cosmetic dentistry by branding it as a luxury service. The new crop of tooth chiselers started working with the old guard of LA veneer specialists, and bam, you have the foundation for our modern veneer and general cosmetic dentistry industry. To this day, however, cosmetic dentistry is not a specialty that's recognized by the American Dental Association. There might be some behind-the-scenes politics associated with that, there usually is, but it also might be because these people are like shaving off healthy enamel from people's teeth primarily for aesthetic purposes. Like many cosmetic procedures, there is a trickle-down effect. You have the bougie, like high disposable income, dead-eyed cosmopolitan types who start getting them, and then celebrities and public figures join suit, and then the proletariat eventually start taking notice. But it wasn't until the shameless promotion era that was made possible via social media that public awareness of this procedure really grew. This, combined with more accessibility, has led to a 250% increase in veneer procedures within the past 5 years. The procedure, when done properly and safely, does have a high patient satisfaction rate. I'm not a fan of like the cosmetic industry on principle, but I gotta admit, when done well, right, some of these look pretty good. I can appreciate good craftsmanship. Sometimes though, they can look a bit off. You can't get them porcelain white. It's just, it's uncanny. Like people are gonna have to squint when you smile at them. If you get wonky veneers as a public figure, you are gonna get dragged within an inch of your life.
Your smile looked better before you got those big fluorescent white bricks installed in your face. Who said that?
And sometimes, to be fair, the dentists will say, like, the patients are demanding that the veneers look a little artificial or a little off. I know a lot of people might clown on some of these individuals, but there is a part of me that genuinely does feel bad for them, especially if they thought they were going to, like, an actual credible professional and got botched, which can happen. Because now they have to either live with this or pay even more money to get it fixed. As with any medical procedure, complications can arise, including tooth sensitivity, a buildup of bacteria which can lead to gum issues and sensitivity, infection, and again, you have the permanent removal of your enamel, which means you will basically need veneers for the rest of your life. Now, considering their growing popularity but expensive cost, it wasn't long before the scammers sniffed an opportunity, like the industrious bloodhounds that they are. Being vain and broke is the perfect combo to get victimized. Now welcome to the stage, the veneer tech. A spin on the classic nail tech. Because what's the difference really between a tooth and a nail? They're both kind of white. Medicine isn't a science. It's a series of suggestions, like traffic laws. Unlike a nail tech, who still requires actual training, veneer techs have no dental license, let alone expertise. No need for years of dental school. Their training consists of a 2-day, $2,000 to $3,000 bootleg veneer application course, using tools ordered off of Temu in a Marriott conference room, and not even a nice one. The ones where they hold like over 40 singles events, after which these techs receive certificates of completion that were printed out at a Walgreens. You can't legally cut hair with this little training. They post incriminating evidence of their fraudulent business on social media, building the prosecutor's case for them. Aren't they considerate? And they'll only charge you about $2,000 to $3,000 for a full set. I mean, they gotta make the money back from the course. But they will leave you with potentially permanent and debilitating dental issues.
You went to a place called Princess Cuts. Paid $2,600. Got a set of veneers. I'm gonna let y'all see. They were done incorrectly. Now you have so much bone loss that his teeth are loose. So now we got to do something else called all on 4, all on X, which is going to cost him 50 grand. Don't take shortcuts with your health. Do it right the first time. Please, take a look at this.
Veneer breath is a term coined to describe what happens as a result of the buildup of bacteria between the veneer and your real tooth if the veneer isn't sealed properly. So besides it potentially causing damage to your gums and teeth, your breath is just going to be stank and you can't brush it out. You have to go to a dentist to get it fixed. So you're going to just have to flash your smile at people from 3 feet away.
On the topic of veneers, so when I first came to LA, a lot of the girls have veneers, but I wasn't aware really when I first came to LA, like 2020, 2021. I was at a party like for the first time, like meeting all these people that are online. Someone came into my face. I was so excited to meet them. And before they came over, they said, hi. And I was actually punched in my face by air. I was actually sucker punched. It hit me like on this side and I was knocked off axis a little bit, but I definitely caught myself. But that was my introduction to veneer canker breath.
The most serious being infections resulting from clearly decaying teeth, just having veneers slapped on top of them, leading any potential infection to have nowhere to travel to but upwards into the gums, causing permanent damage to the gums, the teeth, and potentially resulting in sepsis, which, if left untreated, has the potential to turn you into an Old English font arm tattoo, if you catch my drift. Thankfully, this complication is uncommon. However, there have been a growing number of people reporting less fatal but still debilitating dental issues after improper veneer application.
2 years ago, I had dental work done at Smile Dental Center 32 in Miami, and it ruined my life. Like, literally ruined my life. And I'm still dealing with it to this day. And I just left another doctor, another TMJ doctor. This is the 3rd or 4th one that I've gone to. And I'm just very overwhelmed. Like, the medical industry, the dental industry in America is like, they literally do not care about what you are going through. Like, everything is about money for them. And like, I understand, like, people have to get paid, but it's like, the fact that like I can't do anything. Like, I can't use insurance. I can't do anything. I've already spent $80,000 pretty much on this whole situation in 2 years. And I go to another TMJ doctor because I have severe TMJ now because of the veneers that Smile Dental Center did. They lost my bite. I have severe TMJ. I got my teeth redone. It didn't fix it. That was another $30,000. I don't know what to do anymore. Like, I can't even sue the freaking dentist. Every time I come on here telling my story about what happened, which is a crazy ass story, I'm like, just sue. Why don't you sue? If I could sue, that would be the first thing I'm doing, but I can't do that. I can't do that. It's not possible. Like, can't sue for my sensory issues. My sensory issues are unknown. Every time I go to a doctor, they've never heard of it. And you can't prove that they gave you these issues because there's no way to diagnose it specifically. Like, it's just a whole thing. I guess my only thing is just don't get veneers and know that like something like this can ruin your life, like literally.
The issue of veneer tech scammers got so bad that in May of 2024, the American Dental Association had to issue a statement addressing this. And now, with law enforcement being aware of this scammery and enough patient complaints, some of these people are getting the book thrown at them.
I got sued. Let's start there. I got sued today by North Carolina Board of Dental Examiner.
That this creator shared a story time of how she was scammed into becoming a veneer tech by taking a 2-day course, and the fact that she had asked the person that was running the course whether or not it was legal to do work in a person's mouth. And apparently she had been assured that because it is just additive, that you're not actually drilling anything away, that it is completely legal, which we obviously know that it is not. And
Atlanta, the fascinating lemon pepper metropolis, of course became an epicenter of this skullduggery. And it wasn't long until eventually the feds came knocking. Shout out to the creator Zevi, who introduced me to this little chocolate drop. Welcome to the stage, Brandon Dillard. Though he didn't have a license to practice dentistry, he did have a fade and a dream. The CEO of A-List Cosmetics, he started advertising his business on social media in 2021, alongside his business partner and Colombiano, Elias Mauricio Sotomoreno, who is a licensed dentist in Colombia, but not the US. Their office consisted of 2 rented rooms in a hair and nail salon. Look, there are veneer techs that were operating out of barber shops. Okay, at least Brandon's patients didn't have to sweep up hair after their appointments. But this stud wearer was industrious because he also had the Brandon Veneer collection, which sold veneer-related products. He also headed the A-List Institute, a veneer training school that cost $6,000 to attend. Oh, you know the DA's office was licking their lips when they saw this self-snitching. His business was also advertising and, like, presumably performing other cosmetic procedures that I don't think they had a license to perform either, like lip fillers and non-surgical BBLs. He was making millions. He had a condo worth $1.4 million. He was driving a nice black Range Rover, and his hairline was crisp. You know he had that thing cleaned up every 5 days. In 2023, one of his patients, who had paid $6,500 for a full set of veneers, started to experience tooth pain and discomfort. He had to get it fixed by another dentist who looked at this guy's mouth and went, yeah, you're a victim. Another patient / victim paid $7,000 for a full set, only to have one of their veneers fall out after biting into a cracker. Another one of his patients now has to eat like this after breaking one of her top teeth. One dentist actually refused to fix Brandon's botched job out of fear that they would be held liable if they could not mitigate the damage. And these are just a sample of the complaints. Eventually, the chickens came home to roost, and Brandon was arrested in October of 2024. He was indicted on November 21st of 2025 by a grand jury in Fulton County, Georgia. He was charged with 1 count of RICO. RICO is based on the Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act, which the feds basically created to be able to throw the book at mob bosses. It just means that you had an enterprise that was committing crimes in order to accomplish a shared goal. So scamming as a community. And technically speaking, he did run an enterprise that was operating illegally and had trainees nonetheless. He also got 54 counts of theft by deception, 110 counts of practicing without a license. I mean, every set of veneers completed, that's 1 count. And this might actually be a lowball considering he was working for several years. These might just be the cases they could verify. 24 counts of dentistry without a license, 21 counts of battery, since you could technically argue that he was causing harm to his patients. So, a different kind of criminal battery. He wasn't like backhanding his patients because the chicken was dry. 6 counts of possession of dangerous drugs, presumably the anesthesia or nitrous oxide. 1 count of conspiracy to defraud, and 1 count of commercial gambling because of a raffle that he advertised offering a $5,500 veneer procedure. Look, if you know anything about prosecutors, they will tack on as many charges as possible. They can be so petty. I'm surprised they didn't throw in like a jaywalking charge. Brandon and his team were also allegedly sending intimidating messages to people who were, trying to reveal what he was doing after his indictment. There is a transcript of this man talking to his attorney where he's talking about moving money from one account to another in order to hide funds. He was trying to freeze assets, and his attorney had to cut him off and go, "Boy, shut up! You know they record these calls, right?" Brandon's been free on bond since October of 2024. He's currently pleading not guilty, but the trial is still ongoing. Thank you to the creator, I'm not a lawyer, but, because she went through all of these documents and broke everything down. What's concerning is that some of the potential victims of these veneer techs might not even have any legal recourse, since some of the more savvy scammers will have their patients sign waivers that alleviates them of any liability for future dental issues that they caused.
Technically sue me because I have everybody sign a paper before they start, and basically that protects me from any lawsuit or any action. But I got it, like, one of my friends, she uses it for, like, all of her things, so she just sent me a copy of it, and I have them sign it, so.
So, can you tell us more about what it is that you make your customers sign?
The paper that I got for my patients, it just basically says that they're consenting to the veneers so that they know I'm putting this stuff on their teeth, that they want it to be on their teeth. So basically, that's it. So if they try to take me to court, I have that because it says that they wanted this stuff on their teeth.
Now, to be fair, I don't know if these waivers would actually hold up in a court of law. Like, something tells me that some of these waivers might just be a piece of paper with this set of emojis and like, "Oh, promise you won't be mad at me," written on the bottom. It's gotten to a point where real dentists, who basically have to play cleanup on these botch jobs, are making jokes about it.
I asked him to make me look like Gwyneth Paltrow. I get off the surgery table looking like freaking Shrek.
Look, I had braces for like 4 years, so I have benefited from cosmetic dentistry. But I do remember that when my dentist was finished like yanking at those bad boys, he had a little shaver, you know, the kind that can buff your teeth to make them more even. And I'm not gonna front, okay? I got my 2 front teeth tweaked, okay? I pulled a Hermione Granger. But then he asked me if I wanted to shave down my canines. See that? I don't have my second incisors. It just goes front tooth to the canine. It's why I look like a little vampire. And I was like taken aback. I said, "No, you're not gonna defang me. I like my little unique teeth." And you know, I'm grateful at the very least that I kept those. Thankfully, there does seem to be like a slight resurgence in people, you know, keeping their original teeth, at least public figures. There's a bit more pushback. I always enjoy seeing like a little gap tooth on a public figure. I too could once squirt water out of my 2 front teeth. I kind of miss it. I will say there is something dystopian about reading these accounts of people with perfectly healthy teeth dropping an obscene bag on designer smiles, just flashing those bad boys on Skint Row to wealth mog the homeless, when so many people can't even afford to add dental onto their medical insurance, if they even have medical insurance. Or, oh, the ultimate American dilemma, you gotta pick between your eyes or your teeth. I chose my eyes. There are some clinics that offer those random lottery deals for people who really do need new teeth. I don't know how legit some of these enterprises are. And unfortunately, the impoverished conditions that would lead people to having poor oral health also make it financially impossible to treat those issues. So a lot of people just gotta cross their fingers and hope that one of these like charity, dental trucks rolls into town. Ay, ay, ay. My solution is to make Lightning McQueen teeth units mandatory, okay? For every citizen. Everyone is gonna look botched. The trade-off to not having rotting teeth, that you will look bizarre. No one is gonna have a better smile than the other, okay? I'm Harrison Bergeroning orthodontistry. At least now, when the big one finally hits, we can all look up as a nation. The light of the incoming missile reflecting off of our chipped Skylark teeth, and then oblivion. So, do you have braces? Do you have veneers? Do you hate your teeth? Let me know. I can't really assess them over video, obviously. But just know, whatever you feel regarding your teeth, I agree. What video topic would you like me to cover next? Let me know down below. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know every time that I upload. And as always, thank you for watching. Shout out to my top patrons. If you would like to donate to my Patreon, then please click on the link in the description or down below. Thank you to my other lovely patrons. Your names should be scrolling on screen as I speak. Bye.